No, we feel like a Berlin band. Yeah. We feel like a German band, I think. Now, a European band, let's say.
Estamos aqui em Austin com a banda australiana radicada em Berlim, The Dharma Chain. Vamos bater um papo legal com eles, falar de música, lançamentos, da presença deles aqui no South By. You started a band in Berlin, Australia, and you now based in Berlin. How did that geographical shift reshape your sound emotionally and sonically?
It was a bit of a COVID hangover. We formed in Byron. We were all hanging out, playing music on the East Coast. And when COVID finished, the world kind of opened up and everyone wanted to go traveling, but we were still in our honeymoon period, I guess. And we were going to break up, but someone had an idea at a festival that we played when we were all having a good time that we should all just go over together. It was kind of a fleeting comment, but then we just kind of all followed through.
It also made sense as well. We were sort of making music not the same as we are now, but it was at least going a little bit more in this direction that we're at now. And there's great music in Australia, but there's maybe not as much in this industrial kind of rock, post-punk, whatever we're doing.
Not where we were living anyway.
Yeah, not where we were living in Byron. It was a bit more kind of surfy orientated, a lot of the psych music. So yeah, it made sense to be somewhere that was a bit more like encompassing of that sound, I guess.
Berlin has this cold industrial post-punk atmosphere. Did the city push you further into showgaze and use psychedelia?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do try and be different. We have many different musical tastes and influences, every single one of us. So they all kind of come together and combine to, well, we hope so, combine to give something pretty unique. I definitely don't think we want to be like, if there is a stereotypical Berlin band, we don't want to be that. But I don't think we are, because we all come from different parts of the world, different musical tastes. Julia is more into some heavy stuff. She brought a bit of a heavier thing coming along. I mean, I started just strumming guitar like a folk hero in my bedroom.
I was into hip hop and skating and a lot of jazz music and stuff, and yeah, a bit more.
Yeah, so it just all came together to be something unique. I mean, I think there are definitely some darker elements, thanks to Berlin.
Yeah, it definitely transformed our sound a little bit, but I think it's also the experience. We were living on the beaches in the sunny coast of Australia, and then we're in dark, cold Berlin. Yeah. Obviously, the inspiration shifts a little bit.
Do you feel more like an Australian band abroad or an European band with Australian roots now?
No, we feel like a Berlin band. Yeah. We feel like a German band, I think. Now, a European band, let's say.
What do you say about that, Julia? Jules is the only non-Australian in the band. We adopted her along the way.
I'm not Australian, I'm Italian, as you can probably hear from my accent.
See Through feels like surrender and tension at the same time. Is the upcoming album moving deeper into existential themes?
Apparently, we wrote a very dark album. Our record label said, whoa, it's super dark. I didn't feel like we were making a super dark album, but I think if you are comparing it to See Through, it's different. For sure. So like, obviously See Through is a great track. It has to be mentioned that See Through was the vocal and most of the stuff was written by a guy who no longer was in the band, one of the founding members, but he moved back to Australia. He couldn't handle it anymore. So naturally, as he's left, we've just come down from a 5-piece to a 4-piece. So I think you would definitely hear some differences between See Through and the upcoming album in general, actually.
There is still a lot of tension, though. I think, like you said, there is a lot of tension and release in the album, and I think we kind of play with those themes maybe unintentionally in our songwriting. It just seems to happen a lot. We gravitate towards songs like that, and it comes out in our songwriting as well, so in different ways in the new album, I think, but it's still there for sure.
We are here in Texas during South by Southwest, and everybody's here is talking about AI. So I want to ask you guys the question about how do you feel AI. And I'm going to divide it into the creative process and the production process. How do you deal with that?
In music, heavily against it personally, and creativity in general, heavily against the use of AI, particularly when I see flyer posters for bands or venues or gigs, and it has that AI kind of look that things have. It's a big turn-off.
We're on an interesting part of the curve, I think, where like people are getting really excited about these tools, but I'm pretty sure in 5 years, people will be begging for something human.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure live music, us, we're still a band, I think it's just general, it's going to be very fruitful for us. I think live music in general, actually, I think just people will be begging for that human connection. But at the moment, if people are using it, I mean, good for them, I guess, but it's just not really our style.
But it's a hard time. It's a hard time for artists in all forms, musicians, photographers, illustrators, and it's just I hope that people that like all of those things can still support the community and what they do, and it's getting tougher out there, so we got to stick together.
Do you think that culturally we are living in a kind of collective surreal moment?
No, I think it's hard to zoom out sometimes and see from 10,000 feet up. I think life's always been, my personal opinion, life's always been like that. It's crazy. I think we feel like we're living in the craziest moment. But my personal opinion is people before us, let's say the Cultural Revolution of the 60s, for example, I think that would have been a far wilder time.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm the wrong person to ask that.
I think it's different kind of problems, and I think, yes, it does feel like it's a bit of a dream and it's a bit surreal sometimes, but we're so overstimulated and there's so much going on that life is just flashing by so quickly.
Yeah.
So many changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Being in Austin feels very surreal, seeing Waymos driving around and the way that this city has grown and progressed. Berlin is pretty the opposite end. I mean, there's a lot of gentrification in Berlin, but it's pretty anti-capitalist.
They are still living in the past.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago.
Send letters in the post.
The bureaucracy.
Exactly.
We have to send a letter for everything, carry a pigeon.
So jumping from Berlin to here is pretty surreal to see the future of what a city could look like, I guess.
Every time that a new band appears, people trying to frame the band in a certain genre or style or to compare with others. How do you feel that for Dharma Chain, your influences and things like that?
Oh, that's a good question.
I refuse to answer that question actually, because I'm very bad at genres, subgenres, things like that. I'm just not good with it. I don't understand the names. I don't understand where they cross over. I mean, of course, hip hop, jazz, things like this are very obvious to me. But this post-punk, new wave thing, I don't know. It seems like it covers so far a range of bands.
I agree, and I think that we draw inspiration from so many places. It's hard to put our finger on it because we create in a way that we feel something, and I do think our last album and a bit of our new album, it's like a bit of a Frankenstein. It's a bit of everything.
I'd like to say we were I don't think we are doing this at all, but at least maybe it's a better answer to say where I would like to be. It's back in Bristol in the 90s, and living in that sort of scene where there's new music genres, artists, and a lot of creativity. I mean,
accept that.
We have that in Berlin. We have a lot of friends around us who are doing not just incredible music, incredible art, and incredible creative design in a lot of different ways.
What about you? What do you think? Yeah, why don't you think? How would you categorize us?
It's a bit hard for me to categorize, but I think I can put you in the space of post-punk together with other bands. But that's the way I feel that.
Yeah, cool.
It's very interesting to me because in Australia, I'm from around Melbourne. It's a lot of rock and roll. And honestly, before I moved to Berlin, I hadn't really heard the term post-punk anywhere. And now I hear it everywhere.
To be honest, if people are confused about what genre we are, then I say we're doing something pretty special. Personally, I think it's really cool.
You've been to the UK and the Netherlands before South by. Does performance in English-speaking countries change how do you deliver the lyrics alive?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're blessed. English is lingua franca. Everyone speaks, so that's pretty cool. So, like, I don't think we really need to change anything when we travel to different countries or anything like that. I mean, maybe the English audiences understand us a little bit more, but there's so much delay and reverb on the vocals. Like, I don't think anyone can understand what we're saying.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal.
And we actually don't sing anything. We just hum.
Did you ever play in Italy?
We're gonna play Italy, in April. We're gonna play my city.
Yeah, Genova.
Shout out Genova.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Plus 2 more, the Vicenza, I think, and Senza Dio, which is a place I've never heard before. It kind of sounds like without a god, because that would be Senza Dio.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know. It must be close to Turing, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
What do you plan for the future of the band? Short-term plans for this year?
Short term, I mean, we've got a fairly busy year ahead of us. We've got a tour when we get back, actually. Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Spain and Portugal for the first time. So it's really exciting. France too. We've got our new album coming out in June. So we'll start releasing singles fairly soon off that as well.
Some of the big festivals over the summer
some
and
nice
stuff coming up.
festivals in England, the Psych Fest. We got Desert Fest in May and Fuzz Club in May.
And hopefully stay together and love each other and make millions of dollars.
We did say we were maybe going to try and slow down a little bit this year because the end of last year and the start of this year, writing the album, recording, tour in England, coming here.
Making no money.
Hectic,
Being poor musicians.
Yeah. It hasn't, there's no sign of us slowing down, but that was kind of our intention for this year. But I think the opposite is going to happen. So
one thing that I think it's cool about the band, that you can combine female voices and male voices. I think it's super cool. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we try. I mean, we're begging Julia to sing because we think she has a great voice. We're begging Aiden to sing. The more of us that can sing, the better. I think it's just interesting. We spoke about it, I'm not sure when, but early in the band, we really try and not have a front person. I think it's pretty important for our aesthetic. Egalitarian, everyone's on the level playing field. I personally think it looks really cool when you don't have a certain focal point, everyone gets equal airtime.
I think it's also a little bit of who we are right now and our attention spans, and I think humankind has it's you got to keep it interesting, and sometimes watching a set it can be hard or you lose interest quickly, so I guess it's one way to keep people stimulated, keep us, all of us included. It makes it interesting for all of us when we're trying new things and experimenting with different things.
I think it really encourages our songwriting to be maybe completely open the way that I hope our music has come across, because it's not like you play the bass line, you do the lead guitar, you do the rhythm guitar, you play the drums and you sing. There's room for us all to move around. Normally we play with synthesizers as well. We didn't bring them for South by just because the set times are shorter and stuff, but there's always opportunity for anyone in the band to do anything. So that means that when we write songs, there's more possibilities and more avenues to explore. So
it's a safe space in the Dharma Chain.
Very safe space. We're a very progressive band.
Tell me about the name, Dharma Chain.
Oh no.
I can give you the spiel,
Go ahead.
The word Dharma we just thought was a really interesting word. It was brought to the band by
an ex-member in reference to like the Dharma bums, and we were a psych band starting out. There's also Hindu and Buddhist references in the term Dharma.
We found it interesting, the chain. We thought chain was cool, and it would be like links of the chain. Someone threw out daisy chain. I'm glad we didn't.
We were going to be called the daisy chain.
Thank God.
The word Dharma, for anyone who doesn't know, is like in the similar world of karma. It's like a universal energy that governs the earth. And if you're acting in Dharma, you're doing something that serves your higher self.
Man, I'm impressed.
So, I guess if hopefully we're, not to be spiritual, we're not really that deep with it, but we are serving our higher self. We're doing things that we enjoy. We're writing music, and there's 4 of us, or there was 5 once upon a time. There was 6.
It's psychedelic music at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then Chain, I mean, Jesus and Mary Chain is one of my favorite bands, and I just think it looks badass.
It's
just such a cool word on the end of a band. I don't know, that's my personal opinion.
It's just a cool name.
It's coincidental that we ended up playing music that kind of represents it, because it wasn't planned out in the beginning. But we have had a lot of people come to our shows that do follow or are spiritual people, and felt like for the first time their worlds have kind of collided. And that was never our intention, but it feels very special to have done that.
When you were booked to play here in South by, what kind of music do you think when you think about Texas?
The Black Angels.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
words for you. The
Yeah,
Black
Cyclops.
Angels.
We're so grateful to play here.
We were very excited by this show. We're also, I mean, I definitely draw a lot of inspiration there. Liked the band for a long time, and it's very nice to be able to come and play in these places.
And Daystar, one of our good friends from Austin, are another amazing psych band from Austin. And I think that the music scene here is just so rich. I mean, South by is such a crazy festival, and you can see whatever genre you want here, but we're just happy to be in Austin more than anything. Like, South by is also a blessing to be here, but there's just so much good music in this city, even when this festival shuts down. So
we're hoping you'll see us on the Levitation stage soon.
yeah. Come on by. Oh, look at the puppy.
Dog.
What's up, my guy?
Come and hang out.
Dharma Chain mascot.
One question I didn't ask you, but it's important for you as a band to say or to send a message for the audience.
Our new record's coming out. Please buy it.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic Christmas present for your mother, your father, everybody.
Nah.
No, seriously, no.
I think just looping back to what you said before, I think the world is changing, and the music community is a very special community, and just I think everyone needs to stick together and love each other, look after each other, and hopefully we can meet many more people and play many more shows that bring the community even bigger.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Have a great
you.
time here in Texas, and I hope to see you soon in Brazil.
Cheers.
It sounds like a plan already.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's sign the contract.
Yeah.
love.